So I ran 125 miles this week. How did I do it, how you can do it, and how to safely do it? I'm going to show you. This is an app called Final Surge, which directly links to your Garmin, and it uploads all your runs throughout the week here, what I use and what I use for my athletes. I've done 22 marathons, 6 50-milers, and 2 full Ironmans in 5 years. So I love endurance and I love pushing my body. And I don't think a lot of people run this type of mileage, so I figured I'd put out my stats to maybe motivate people as well. So let's get into it. So you guys can see July 5th, this was my going into peak week, my 30-miler that I did. My heart rate was a zone 3 tempo. My pacing was about a 7 out of 10. And then this was the next day, July 6th, around the same time, zone 2 heart rate, another, 5.5 out of 10. So the first thing, if you want to become an actual bigger runner and build a bigger engine, you need to add volume. How you add volume is one of two ways. You can go the 10% method, which a lot of coaches are going to say, do it if you're going to avoid injury, whatever it may be. 10% method is great for beginner runners getting into it. It's basically, if you started at 40 miles, you add 10% every week. You're going to go from 40 to 45, 46. I think that's way too conservative. So that's one way. The other way, what I do and I practice what I preach is do more, be more, become more. Our bodies are capable of so much, we're just not pushing ourselves. So to get to this point and everything like that, I add in 15 to 20 miles. Now I know that sounds crazy. Where does that come from? If I'm at 50 miles one week and I built a base there and I've sat there, I'll go to 65. With that being said, these miles that I'm adding, they're going into warm up and cool downs. They're not going into speed workouts or anything like that. So I'm not really stressing my body and taxing it. I'm just allowing and training my body and my legs to, hey, we've got 15 extra miles this week. They're going to be slow miles, but with proper fuel, hydration, nutrition, and strength training, we're going to do it, avoid injury, sit there, and continue to build 15 miles until we've built a massive engine, and we can add those miles now into speed, tempos, progressions, everything like that. So after the volume, we add the frequency. So you guys can see I did 13 runs this week, which is basically training twice a day. Minus Saturday and Sunday, I do not run twice a day. Those are my longer-ish runs. Those are my race tempo runs, that kind of stuff. However, during the week, when you add that volume, now you add the frequency in, running twice a day allows you to stack those miles at a higher pace while not frying your legs or your central nervous system, especially if they're, slower miles and everything. So number 3, very simple. You fuel like it's your job. Now, a lot of injuries come into play when you're underfueled because you're not properly recovering. You get burnt out because you don't have enough energy. A lot of runners will go for a long run, eat an acai bowl, avocado toast, and call it a day. You're not giving yourself what it needs. So check your macros, check your micronutrients, make sure you're eating in somewhat of a calorie maintenance surplus. I eat 4,000 calories a day, 500 carbs, 220 protein, 100 grams of fat. I weigh 180 pounds, okay? Anybody wants to see my transformation, drop a comment and stuff. I transform my body in 7 months, everything. So feel like it's your job because you're not gonna be able to add that frequency, have your body absorb it if you're in a calorie deficit. Next, a lot of runners are scared of getting injured. They have that fear. Everyone does. And then they get injured and you ask them, when did you last strength train? And they said, never. That's a red flag. Strength training needs to be at the forefront with your nutrition before anything else comes into running, okay? The reason being is you're not strength training to build muscle and look like a bodybuilder. You're strength training to build a bulletproof engine. You can't just pound the pavement 80 to 90, 125 miles a week without actually training your tendons, your muscles to adapt to that. And how you do it is in the gym. Your glute bridges, your planks, your supermans, your abductors, everything like that, which you can do after every run, every single day, because we're not going to failure. You're literally just training your muscle to, rest pause, to actually get a little bit stronger. You're training your fast twitch, slow twitch muscle fibers, which ups your performance when it comes to running and ultimately gets you bigger, faster, stronger in your runs. You don't just run fast to get fast. It also comes from strength, band work in the gym. So that's kind of the gist of, how to safely add, how I add, where to add here and there, and what to really focus on while you're adding volume. Now, there's a lot of things that I left out, so drop a comment if you want to know more about this, because I can go on this topic forever. But just kind of motivating anybody. I know a lot of people say this type of stuff is psychotic. I understand, but it is needed. And after a certain point, it's like a drug. Your body needs more of it. Just like running and stuff like that. Once you've built that base, if you want to get faster, stronger, quicker, lower your heart rate, your body's going to need more of it. So make sure that you're adding every single week, adding to your, obviously, easy runs and stuff like that, adding in your strength training, and you will get to this point. So that is kind of the gist of everything.